Thanks, Steve. So yeah, Wrestling Mindset is really the mother company, the foundation of our company, which is Winning Mindset. So we're really blowing up and expanding into other sports. Football, lacrosse is really big right now. Soccer, basketball. I just picked up a couple volleyball teams, and so we're really blowing up. People just they're getting it. You know, they understand where that edge is, and we'll talk about that. But Wrestling Mindset, I'm sure you guys have seen us. Our goal is the same as yours. I mean, I grew up in Kansas. I'm from Kansas. I've been wrestling since I was in diapers. Grew up with one of his old teammates, Zach Roberson, who wrestled with Iowa State. We actually used to butt heads a lot. What was that? Yeah? Went to college again? But yeah, so, I mean, my goal is the same as yours. I've been through this. As a three-timer in high school and runner-up, I had a lot of some of these same things. I was very, very aggressive, very offensive. I worked my tail off. I had a Dan Gable type mentality where I just want to outwork my opponents, but there was a lot of things that I couldn't fix. I thought that running 10 miles or getting another 3,000 shots was going to help. Maybe that helped with my mental toughness and confidence a little bit, but you know, I couldn't relax under pressure. You know, when you win state titles from the time you're 8 to the time you graduate, all of a sudden people have these expectations. And for me, that was hard for me to deal with. So this would have been great for me, right? So our goal is the same as yours. Maximize the potential of your student athletes' success, maximize their success in sports and in life. So we all know that as coaches and as administrators and teachers that, you know, when we get going with our kids, especially in wrestling, there's no multi-million-dollar contract that's waiting for them. So, you know, gold medals collect dust. What we do and the character we build with our athletes is going to last a lifetime. So we want to use that as a vehicle to improve them as a person. Winning Mindset, you know, helps them with that. That gives you guys a system, a guidance to help educate them, not just in wrestling, so they can take these tools and associate them to life. For example, driving through Atlanta, I'm a rural Kansas boy, 4,000 people in my community, right? I've seen the world a little bit, but driving through Atlanta, they change, right? So I'm thinking, what if I wreck this rental car? What if I don't get where I'm going? What if people are honking at me? This traffic's too fast. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm talking to a coach while I'm driving, and I'm like, hey man, I'm going through some of this mindset training right now in life that I'm learning through this curriculum, which is focused on, you know, things I can control, not prey thoughts. So we'll get into that too. Physical versus mental. Kerry Collat, most of you guys recognize Sam. He stated before that wrestling is 95% mental. And there's a big debate going on. Joe Furler had something come out a while back, and he had a debate where, you know, wrestling and mindset training and what the percentages are. I don't think anyone really knows what that percentage is, right? But I know personally that it's a high percent of my training. So what would you guys say if you were to put a number on mental versus physical? What would that number be? There's no right or wrong answer. Coach, what would you say mental training?
50?
50? At least 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least 50. Anybody else got a guess? Got to go? 90? Pretty common. Pretty. Very individual. Yeah. Yeah. You know, maybe I'm a complete athlete. I got the total package, but when I've been going to camp all summer, I wrestle at Fargo, but I still can't pull the trigger. You know, for me, when I look at mental versus physical, I think it's high, but you know, I make the choice to get out of bed on a December morning in Kansas when it's 10 degrees, you know, at 5:30 and get up and run. I make the choice to eat clean, and I make the choice to stay away from peer pressure, drugs, and alcohol. I make the choice to stay in position and do my drill, right, and listen to the coach and do all those things. Even during a match, I have positions where I have to reset myself, things aren't going my way as at first, and I have to really focus. And so that's mindset. And again, if I can do, you know, if I'm spending 90% of my time focusing on my drilling, my nutrition, weightlifting, things like that, and we're not talking to our kids, you know, maybe we're only spending 5-10% of that time talking about mental training, there's a huge gap here, right? So we want to close that gap, even if it's 50%. So when you guys say, oh yeah, wrestling mindset, they had a cool post, let's make a poster of that, put it up in the room. So that's a little bit, but when you tell your guy, hey Johnny, go out there and be confident. All right, cool. And Johnny's thinking, okay, I just need to be confident. I just need to be confident. Right? So how do we do that? How do we teach them to be confident? We do it all the time as coaches. Have fun. Be aggressive. They teach me. All right, so that's where we come in. Mindset red flags, this is just a way, how do we determine where we need to work on? We have red flags, right? And if you have any wrestlers that are experiencing some of these things, they're at risk for not wrestling at their full potential, right? We see it a lot. Even as coaches, I've coached with guys, the head coach, we get into an important match. His semifinals in this Slough Friday night, he clams up. And I'm waiting for him to make the call. And I'm not dogging on him, but I'm waiting for him to make the call. And I got to jump up, right? I got to, hey, you're going down. Let's go. Hey, focus, right? So even as coaches, even as parents, even as administrators sometimes, we have these red flags. So better to practice the competition. How many of you guys have wrestlers that just get into their offense and scrambling, hitting their shots, being aggressive, but it comes match time and they clam up? How many guys? Yeah, show of hands. Right? Pretty common. Practice room wrestlers. Gives opponents too much respect. Track wrestling, Instagram. He's ranked. He's the number 1 seed, he's number 2 seed. He's got cauliflower here, right? I mean, we're giving guys, we're fan base mentality. He's got cauliflower, he must be good. I know a guy, in fact, I knew a guy who was drilling with the dummy. The dummy fell over, hit him in the ear, and he got cauliflower. Why are you so proud of that thing? I'm like, you didn't earn that. What are you doing? Yeah, he's good. Dummy beat him up, fell on him. So we give opponents too much respect. How many times do you see that? All the time with kids, right? Dads do it too. Oh, this guy, track wrestling, they're telling their kid, and all of a sudden they have this fan base, and they start freaking out. Kids don't like that, so don't do that. Too cautious or hesitant, not getting to his offense, or focused on other things rather than what can I control? My effort, my attitude, my aggressiveness, my ability to score points. Those are things I can control. Otherwise, I'm hesitant. It's a red flag. Struggles to bounce back after mistakes, right? So we talked about that. Resetting, match evaluation. How can we come back from a loss? Slow starters, part of that. How many guys have seen? They come out, do everything in the book to try to get them going, get that first match out of the way. They lose the first round. They come to the back door, and they win 5, 6, 7. They get on a roll, and it's consistent. They do that. Third place guys. But if I can just get them to win that first match, there's probably the number 4 guy. Probably a state finalist, right? It's not necessarily all your routines. Routines are important, but there's something going on here, right? You got to get them focused. And again, slow starters, we talked about that. So red flags, we determine that with our individuals when I do trials or with teams. Where do we need to touch up, brush up on? Yes, definitely that's a red flag. We need to hit that. We need to get better there, train smarter and not harder. Some of our clients over the years, we've worked with the U.S. national team, the women's team. Terry Steiner, U.S. National head coach, testimony there. Helen Morales, who worked with the Olympic team. Iowa State at one point. Michigan, Rutgers, we're getting with Rutgers, pretty good. That's kind of that home area there. Some of the top high schools in the country. Yeah, that's just a crumble of the pie, right? Some of the teams we're working with. So we've got 3,500 different athletes in 7 different sports right now. And so 2018, 2019, those are some individual results that we had, just some testimony, right? College, 6 national champs, 40 All-Americans, different divisions. We do have some D1 guys, 5 team trophies. High school, 5 team state titles. I like this here, this is big. Outstanding wrestling this year is mindset guy. And you think, okay, well, these guys, yeah, I mean, they're already good, right? But they get it. It's not just the teams we need to make progress, or how can we change our culture. Some of the best teams, they want to maintain that edge. They understand where that edge is. And Terry Steiner actually said it best a few years ago, where they know at that level everybody's good, everybody's tough, everybody's strong, they know how to wrestle. Where can I find the edge that others aren't doing? Nutrition, right, and mindset training. At that level, it's 90% middle in most cases. Stick trick. So I'm going to need some volunteers. Doesn't have to be young guys. I'm going to call you out. Hold quiet. Don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. He's smiling. Come on up. Let's do, come on, Glenn. Yeah, come on up. Sir. You guys, like the number 1 fear for human beings is public speaking. Number 5 is death. So, first things first, let's do, yeah, it is. Number 5 is death, believe it or not. Number 1 fear is public speaking. So, how do you feel right now? Pretty good. Pretty good. Not nervous or anything. He's excited. A little bit nervous. Was it nervous or excited? A little bit of both. A little bit of both. Yeah, so you recognize those words can change. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, once you come over here, we're going to do 2 exercises on this side. So what I want you to do is we're going to talk about training hard, training smart. So who wants to know what are the key ingredients to success for being a state champion, national champion? Everybody should have their hands up. Yes, I want to know. What are those key ingredients? So So what I want you guys to do, I want you to run down to the end of that wall, do 5 jumping jacks, come back. Ready to go. Well, it's not that you can do 5 jumping jacks anywhere. Yeah, good, good. Not bad. You guys realize you're going to get a workout today. So, how many of you did 6? I think I did 5. I think I did 5. I just did jumping jacks, man. I did. Tell me to run to the wall. You did 5? I run to the wall. So, yeah, so for me, hard work and working with people and thinking and never settling, right? Going one beyond, right? So if coach tells me to do something, I'm going to do a little bit more. I mean, where am I going to get my extra workouts in? That's confidence, that's mental toughness, that's conditioning, all those things. So hard work, right? Hard work, always doing extras, always doing one more. So very good. You guys stay with me here for a second. Catch your breath. So hard work is one of those things, right? The other thing is working smart. So we use a stick trick, just to have an idea, just drop. What I want you to do, you're going to balance this stick. I want you to focus on your fingers. Balance this stick, put it down here, focus on it. Focus on your fingers, hold that in the air. One hand. Don't hit me. Okay, try again. So my fingers, focus on the fingers. Alright, good, 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 good. Are you gonna trap? Okay. Okay, not bad. Pretty good. Alright, cool. So, this time, what I want you to do is, I want you to change your strategy. I want you to focus on the top. Very good. Alright, give it a try. Good. That's the best stick I can find, by the way. Alright, good. Let's give it 2 claps. So, we didn't do 10,000 reps. We didn't do 100 arm throws to keep his arm more steady, right? Well, all we did was basically just change our focus a little bit. We changed our strategy. So, again, I was a guy who was like, I lost state championship my junior year. 8 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, I got up and I took off running. I'm not going to get these again. I'm 33-0 and won a state title. But really, what I probably should have been focusing on was not letting up in the 3rd period, putting the nail in the coffin, and working on some other strategies to make myself even better outside of just hard work. So the two go together, but strategy really is one of those keys. So that's what we help you guys also. We're a systematic training program. So how does this all work? How do we tie this together? What do we do exactly? So what we are, we're strength training for the mind. Right? We do the work. We have worksheets with our teams, with our individuals. We have it in front of them where we're actually doing hands-on exercises. Okay, we're not just talking to them and lecturing them. It's not therapy, it's not counseling. Obviously, I do have some kids that, tends to go that route because there's other things in life that we talk about, but that's just because our relationship is awesome with our clients. So it's not therapy, it's not lecturing, it's hands-on strength training for your mind. Do the work. Here's a group, here's a picture of some guys up in Nebraska I work with. So this is our team Skype, right? So if we don't have a guy in the area, what we'll do is we'll come through a Skype and we'll coach your teams. We'll get into that with the workshops, but utilize the participatory teaching methods. And I've got a triangle pyramid I'll show you. But as far as like evidence that shows group how to retain your teaching, it kind of goes with our coaching as well. Group discussions, it's stated there's 50% retention. So we do group discussions with the work, we talk to our guys in our sessions. 75% we practice, we do the worksheets, right? So we do the exercise the same as drilling. We're not going to come in and talk about hitting a knee pull. We got to drill it, we got to drill it, we got to drill it, we got to execute, and that's how they learn. 90% teaching others the same way. If I could take my guys and put them in a Big Brother program, have them teach second graders how to use a setup to hit a double and a finish, the chain wrestle to a half. If they can break that down and teach it, they're going to learn, they're going to get better themselves, right? Even your college guys, even your high school guys. Teach them how to teach, and they're going to learn. So that's the same kind of process we use. There's a pyramid. So we want to be in here. We're wanting to learn. If I'm lecturing or giving them material to read, we have DIY stuff online. If you buy the video, it kind of falls into this category. There's a big difference between hiring someone to teach you and work with you and coach you, down in here, as opposed to doing it yourself and trying to relate to your kids. Plus, you're just the old coach. You're washed up. What do you think, right? These guys know what I'm talking about. Hey, my high school team, I could tell them, put this shirt on, some of these things, and they would not listen to me the same way as if I put a shirt on him and he came in and taught. You guys get that concept, right? Team training. So, mindset workshops via Skype, Google Hangout, whatever technology you have. So we come to the computer. We'll be working with Billy this year, actually, in that room. So the room there where the vendors are. Environment like that, classroom setting where they can learn. And then we do individual phone sessions. So each guy for the high school team, they get phone residents, we talk to them, analyze what's going on with them, and help them and redirect. College is unlimited. We do one-on-one coaching as well. So I'm talking more team because you guys are more team-oriented. I like that. I stole that from one of my managers. What if I told you there was no off-season? So wrestling mindset, the foundation of this is there really is no off-season. All the time I talk to coaches, well, you really don't want to get started till November, December. Well, what if I told you I've got teams that are really in phase one right now, right? You're going to miss out on phase one completely or be behind because I've got teams and individuals that are already working on motivation, mental toughness, goal setting, their action plans. So we're going through that. I mean, take 4, 5, 6 workshops. And so there are 2 phases, and that's the foundation. With my individuals, I have to get through the foundation with my individuals, right? So I want to go through self-knowledge and goal setting. And then once I get through the foundation, phase 1 with them, and I have a map, then we can really branch off into things that are a little more exciting for them and more catered towards what they're going through in the season. Haley, wrestling mindset taught me new ways to transform my nerves into an edge for competition. Kind of like when we talked, I asked you guys, how do you feel? I'm a little excited, a little nervous, right? So how do I transform that feeling into an edge? So it taught me to always be myself and be on the hunt. How do we learn to be on the hunt? We use the example predator versus prey. So it's really not about animals, right? But predator animals have eyes on the front of their head. And why is that? They can see further, but what specifically? They can focus on their prey, right? On their objective. Prey animals have eyes on the sides of their heads, designed that way probably because they're watching out for lions, tigers, bears, all those predator type animals. And so if I can teach that to my kids, the concept is catch and filter those thoughts. Carl Ryan talked about it with Be a Landlord of Your Mind, Mental Mondays. Same concept, really. It's just teaching them how to recognize, hey, that's a prey thought. Kind of like me driving through traffic, or hey, okay, I'm getting excited, getting ready to go into the speech. I've got to maintain predator thoughts. Maybe thinking about the traffic. So use predator versus prey to keep them focused on predator thoughts. So we have them write it down. What are 3 examples of some common prey thoughts you have in wrestling? What are some common prey thoughts you have in school? What are some common prey thoughts you have in life? And then we'll go through and we'll redirect them. So when you recognize that thought in wrestling, it's a common thought that you specifically have every time. How can you take that thought and turn it into a predator thought and stay focused? And a lot of times, the kids, we just don't take the time, or even as coaches, to have them stop and think about that. Same with nervousness. Some kids don't even know what the heck that is. Why am I sweating? I have to go to the bathroom. What does that mean? Right, so when we do mental training, we walk them through that process so they can recognize and put themselves at ease. Predator thinking is the same way. It's one of those core foundational lessons that we talk about. So phase 2, during the season or postseason, so relaxing under pressure, unstoppable confidence, present moment, aggressiveness. So that's for during the season, regular season stuff, our coach. So one of those examples for our phase 2 lesson play is a reset button. So a lot of your athletes, we teach our guys, they have an action plan for a technique or a competition. So as an example, I'm up by 1 in the 3rd period with 15 seconds left. What do? What's your action plan? I'm up by 1, 15 seconds left. He's down. What do? Most cases. Let him up. Cut him. I know that. I mean, I probably haven't turned him. It's 2-1. I got 15 seconds. I really probably didn't cut this guy, try to take him down. So that's my action plan. They know that. You've talked to them. All you have to do is say, hey, we do this now. I don't like that because that gives them a chance to get in position. I want them to be flustered, coming up. I want this going. So, hey, they know what the action plan is. You build it in practice. Same way. What do we do with our athletes when they're in an adverse situation? Right? So, referee makes a bad call. Maybe he scored on me first. The crowd's loud. He's got a lead, short time. That was something I came across my junior year. I was up 9-3 with a minute left. I shut down from 5th gear to 3rd. Threw me a headlock, stuck me on the edge. So I lost state finals. So he's got to leave with a short time. What do we do? How do we think? What's our action plan? So what we do is we install a reset button for your kids. We want them to have a physical gesture and anchor where they can reset themselves and come back from those adverse situations. Because the same with life, you can't sit and dwell. In a wrestling match, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, you don't have a lot of time to be dwelling on, you just elbowed me in the face, coach. What the hell was that about? And all of a sudden they're thinking about that rather than get to your feet, get one, take this man down, beat him up, right? You've got to be able to control him and redirect him. You best do that. So what is that reset button? Okay, for each guy it may be different. It may be different in each situation. So the referee makes a bad call. Well, I was on the match. I wasn't stalling. I'm coming back in. It might just be up and bounce, positive affirmation, and I'm back in the mat, right? So that might be my reset. But they have those physical gestures. They do the breath, and they have the thought. They write it down. Now they have their action plan. So that's the reset button. It's very good. One of my favorite ones. It's important. I'm sure most of you guys can agree. Antonio was one of my guys. Any of you see his post online this year? He was Colorado, 145-pound 5A state champ. So we did a reset button the week before the state tournament with this Enoch in Colorado. He's wrestling the defending 3-time state champ in the semis. And he upsets him. But he goes to talk about how in the middle of the match, his mindset coach taught him how to use a reset button. So he took a deep breath, he rolled his shoulders, and he said, I got this. They beat him. Went into win the state championship, did the same thing again, his reset button. And so he take the physical, and now all of a sudden you put the mental in there. Had he not had that reset button, things might have been a little bit different, right? In a big, important match like that. For him, it was a great day. All right, so I wanted to talk about enlightenment and coaching. One of the things I wanted to touch on is, hey coach, how are we on time?
We're good.
Good?
We're good.
Okay. One of the things I wanted to touch on with you guys is communication. Right? So how many of you guys have seen this post online lately? Right? Okay, I kind of have maybe a different perspective on this. And I do feel that there's a time and a place that we have to really bring it home with our guys. I mean, I'm old school. My dad was old school. We were kind of just hard-nosed. You got to get your butt in gear. If not, we're going to run kind of thing. And it was kind of right here. But I didn't always respond well to that. So here, I think that this situation, what I wanted to say is that I feel like coaches maybe are justifying, like, hey, it's okay to see, Johnny, these grown men are taking criticism. So I can yell at you, you should keep your mouth shut, keep your eyes on me, listen to what I tell you to do. I don't necessarily agree with that because, number one, they are adults and they have a contract to take action. You know what I mean? They're getting paid a lot of money. And that coach may know, it may be different, we don't know the story. He may know that those guys respond really well to getting fired up. Maybe we didn't catch it on film, but maybe he walked down to 5 people and said, okay, hey, you really, look, we went over this, read the plays, get out there, move your feet a little bit, get set, throw that ball. Over here, he's yelling, screaming, spitting. It's different. So communication, I think, is very important with our guys, especially in this generation where kids are sensitive. We have our core beliefs and our philosophy, right? But how they perceive our communication, right? So determine your athlete's perception of you as a coach. And how do we do that? Through open communication. So we have lessons designed to promote that so kids can give us some honest feedback. Now, we understand that they have to be open to suggestions as well. We have to work together. But what's the perception? Promote open communication, enlightenment, develop individual rapport right away. We all know that the best coaches, I love it, Gable was very, very good at knowing his athletes very well. And for me, that always stuck. And I think that's what helps me take kids to the next level is I know them very well. And then maximize the growth mindset, not a fixed mindset, that growth mindset with a positive attitude and feedback. So here's the lesson plan, part 2, where we talk about that in our self-knowledge Big 10. And this is in the T packages, right? So what my coach does that helps me mentally. You write it down. This helps me, coach. When you do this, it helps me. What my coach does that inadvertently hurts me mentally. Now this is the big one because a lot of coaches, I never realized that, I'm rubbing his shoulders before a match and I'm getting in his ear and I'm going, Tom Brands to Santo on before a match, and he does not like that at all. I don't like that. Coach, I don't even want you to really touch me. I'm not trying to be rude, but I really want to focus right now. I didn't know that. For 3 years I've been doing that. He never told me. I didn't get it. I didn't read it, but he didn't want to hurt my feelings or make me mad. So open communication, what hurts him? And then, they go through the questionnaire. This is great. How would I prefer my coach to critique me? Right? So if we don't know our athletes well, we're not able to shift adjust to our guys. We might have one way of doing things, right? So, A, directly say it like it is. You don't need to sugarcoat it. B, a little bit more positive. I might a little sensitive to criticism. So, and very positive, I'm very sensitive. Or number 4, how would I prefer my coaches to treat me before a match during the tournament? Kind of like what we just talked about when I'm getting warmed up. Fire me up, get me mad, slap me in the face, get me going. Or D, hey, lay off completely. I don't like to be talked to. I just really can't focus. You throw me off, you put pressure on me. I know you're not trying to, but E, I didn't know that. Okay, how would I prefer my coach to deal with me after match? In most cases, I like to greet my guys when they come off. I've got a lot to say, but it's usually 1 or 2 things fundamentally and get them directed and moving into the next thing, but maybe he doesn't like that. Some of those guys, I can pick up on that. I know that right now it's not a good time. I'll catch up with him. I don't need to bug him right now. I don't need to give him feedback so he catch his breath. So you guys get the idea there. We go through our mindset principles. Oh, any questions on that, by the way? You guys have any questions on reset button or communication? Other weapons? Man, I must be either one really, really good, or you guys are really not interested. Or number 3, something. Really good? Yeah, really good. All right.
Probably hungry too.
I'm hungry. Shut up so we can leave.
No.
So, mindset principles, we say this with our guys before and after every time. We want this to be the mantra. We want it to hum in their hearts. We want it to become part of them. And so, I love it. Believe it or not, after I started working with wrestling mindset, I started using these myself as a parent, as a coach, as just an individual. I mean, hell, I cut my hand with a skill saw or a miter saw last year. About lost my arm. And I was just thankful that I could wrestle. For the first time in a long time, I was very grateful that I could get on the mat and use a staying hand. Now, can I run a hammerlock? Oh, I'm so happy I can run a hammerlock. I'm just thankful for the opportunity. I'm thankful for the opportunity to mold the track. Great day, just thankful. So we want our guys thinking that way. We say this after every session, before and after. I'm aggressive and relentless. What can I control? My aggressiveness, my relentlessness. I have no fear of losing or making mistakes, and I never, ever give up. So those are our mindset principles. We want them to know that, memorize it, we say it together, like I said. It has to kind of hum. So if nothing else, if they're nervous, or maybe they're even in a match and they're moving their feet and they're thinking too much, they might just be thinking, hey, just be aggressive and relentless. Be aggressive and relentless. I have no fear of losing or making mistakes. Maybe they're thinking that while they're getting warmed up. I never ever give up. I never give up. They're on their back, right? Or if they're nervous, excited, before a tournament, I'm just thankful to be here. Gratitude is huge. How many times have you guys heard Penn State guys after winning a national title, they come off the mound, it's the first thing they say in their interviews? Just grateful. What do you got? I'm grateful to be here. I'm so thankful to be able to wrestle, right? So, we do that as a team. Any questions on mindset principles? Huh? You got it? All right, so that's it, guys. Any questions all around? Anything I can help you with? Is that sheet still going around? Pulling it out? So, yeah, go ahead. Cost? That's the big one. It really depends on the packages, the workshops, how often you want to utilize it. Maybe it's, I want to try to get 4 sessions in. I want to do this once a week, year round. It really depends on that. So, yeah, so we're very versatile as far as how we can help. Is your name on there? Okay, what's your first name? Eric? Okay, yeah, I think we talked through it. I'll call you, I'll go over that with you. So as far as the cost go, there's so many different variables and how that works. I don't want to go into it because I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea. And so we can go 24 to 1, or maybe, depending on your situation, maybe I talk to the owners and they throw in an extra 1 or 2 for free. We really want to get in with this guy. He wants to work volleyball and football too. We want to get in the door and help them out. They help us, we help them. Let's get into 4 workshops. Maybe we'll throw in an extra one. We'll see what Johnny says and if he's up to that. So I'll go over that with you. We'll get some ideas. Because really with high school and college, you guys, you have budgets, but you have more opportunity to talk to boosters, talk to kids clubs, fundraise, talk to sponsors, businesses, to you have more options to raise money, but I'll get into price points with you this week. Any other questions?
I know one of the options is I've had parents, and I'm fortunate to be here at Lovett with some very raw people, and I've had parents come, what can I help you with, coach? What can make the difference? I was like, well, this can make the difference, and parents love the mindset training. If you pitch it to a parent, you know those parents that may have some extra money there or may have some ways of sponsoring. This is a way of doing it. I was fortunate I got a grant this year, and I'm using my grant for the mindset training. Next year, hopefully it works out where I can keep doing it, but you get those parents or those boosters or just people that are kind enough to do that in the medical field, maybe lawyers, that's a way.
Yeah, that's a good point because we see parents who are like, I want my kid doing this, and so you'd be surprised how many moms and dad will drop a few $100 to contribute to that cost. And you got a budget where can my team benefit from new Rudis gear, not to put the compound and vendors out, but where can I benefit? New Rudis gear or some mindset training for my guys in my culture? Where can I utilize $1,000 to best suit my culture moving forward for health and life? So some things to think about. Thank you.
Yeah, it's